Are some of these MAGAs actually beginning to wake up? If you go on to social media and you go into these MAGA spaces where these loons talk to each other, you would see today that many of these MAGAs appear to be turning on Donald Trump. Maybe not completely, but they are criticizing him, questioning him in a way that I don't know that I have ever seen before. In fact, I saw several of them today posting the question, have we been conned? Have we been played? That sort of sentiment. And I don't remember a time in the last 10 years since this orange piece of shit descended that escalator that we have ever seen this before. I think a couple things are at play. I think the fact that Republicans got their asses kicked last Tuesday in the elections, I think that has them rattled. I think they can read the poll numbers just like you and I can. Now, if you or I were to talk to these MAGAs about the poll numbers, I'm sure that they would tell us that they're fake news. Where'd you get that poll from? NBC? That's fake news. But when they're talking to each other, and if they're going to be honest with themselves, I think they know it's true, that this man is horribly unpopular. You know, they saw those No King's Day protests. Now, they go on social media and say it was all AstroTurf, it was all fake, it wasn't anywhere near 8 million people, that kind of thing, to make themselves feel better. And because that's the kind of thing, if you're in the MAGA universe, that's the kind of thing that gets you interaction. And of course, when you're on social media, that's all these people care about is how many likes did I get? How many retweets did I get? And, saying that it's all fake, that's what gets you the retweets and the likes and all of that stuff. But when you put all this stuff together, these people see it. Now, they don't see it to the same degree that normal people see it because, I mean, how much of that is really going to be shown on Fox News or some of these other places? But it's out there. And some of them are starting to wonder, maybe this guy isn't the most popular president ever, like we tell each other. Maybe the American people really do hate this guy. Maybe he really is electoral poison. Maybe we really are going to get our asses kicked in the midterms because of this guy. And I think another major aspect of this is the fact that he's a lame duck. He's not going to be on a ballot ever again, no matter what he and Steve Bannon say. It's not going to happen. And that doesn't mean he's not going to try to stay in office illegally. I think he very well may try to do that. I'm expecting that he's going to do that in a variety of ways. But he's not going to be on the ballot again. And these MAGAs know it. And they're starting to realize this guy is a short timer. He's not going to be our leader for very long. We have to start looking at the future. And the future may be disastrous for us because of this guy. And not only that, not just the raw political aspect of this, and they can see that he's a fucking disaster, and he's going to drag the Republican Party down to potentially major losses in the midterms, but he is also selling them out on a lot of the things that they care about. And let's face it, they don't care about a whole lot, and your average Trump voter really doesn't give a damn about anything except supporting Donald Trump, but there are pockets, there are little coalitions inside of MAGA who actually do care about certain things. And one of the things they're really pissed off about today is the fact that Donald Trump is going to allow 600,000 Chinese students into this country to attend American colleges and universities. And they're furious. They are friggin' pissed. That's one of the things that I see all over social media today. And he was asked about this on Laura Ingraham last night on Fox News, and I'm actually going to play a bunch of clips from that interview and talk about it at length later on this afternoon on the Romano Report, so I hope you'll check that out. But his interview with Ingraham, it was not a bunch of softballs. She actually asked him, I'm not going to say they were difficult questions, but difficult questions for Fox News. They weren't complete, softball questions. And so he didn't like that. And he didn't react well to it. And he didn't give good answers. It was a disaster. And again, if you look at the MAGA accounts all over social media, they're really pissed off about that interview. They think he's tone deaf. They know that the economy is shit. They know that everything is way too expensive. And Donald Trump hasn't done anything to bring the prices of things down. He's made it worse with his tariffs and so much else that he's done. They know it. And they know that that's one of the major reasons why Republicans got their asses kicked last week. And Donald Trump, instead of addressing those concerns and doing something about it, he's pretending that it's not real. He's essentially saying that's fake news. The economy's great. The economy's never been better. And these MAGAs are all over social media going, this is tone deaf. He's so friggin' out of touch. This is exactly what Joe Biden did when he was president. He pretended everything was great when it wasn't. And I'm telling you, for a whole number of reasons, these MAGAs are getting pissed. Now, I don't want to read too much into this. We've seen instances where MAGAs have been pissed at Trump before and they go right back to kissing his ass, and that could happen again. But I've never seen it like this. And also, we've never been in the position before where Trump is truly a lame duck. And I think they're beginning to realize that. And I think that is going to change things profoundly in terms of how they relate to Trump, how they see him, how many shit sandwiches they're willing to eat for this fucking buffoon who is a lame duck and who is dragging them all down. So I don't know. I don't want to read too much into it. Don't want to get too excited about this. But I've been telling you there's going to be a MAGA civil war. It's a civil war that's already begun, where these MAGAs are going to be starting to fight with each other. But I didn't anticipate them turning on Trump just yet. I think they're going to turn on Trump. Not all of them. I mean, some of them are Trump or die. They will never leave Trump. A lot of them probably will, or certainly won't ever admit it. But I think enough of them. I think there are going to be a lot of Republicans who are going to turn on him. If for no other reason than they're going to see, we have to turn on this piece of shit because he's going to drag us all down and completely destroy our party. Which I think it's too late for that. He's going to destroy your party. We tried to warn you idiots about this. When you create a monster, that monster eventually turns on you and destroys you. And that's going to happen. And they're all going to come to that realization. I think too late, but they are going to begin to come to it. I think some of them already are. Again, they're asking each other publicly on social media, were we conned? Did he sell us out? Was it all a lie? That's bad. That's bad. When you're inside a cult and people inside the cult are starting to question the cult leader, it can all come collapsing down real quick. And let me tell you something else. People who feel betrayed, people who wake up and realize that they were conned, those people become fierce opponents. I mean, they have a hate on for the people that they admit to themselves they were conned by. They hate those people. And when they turn, the turn can be ugly. And, as much as we hate Donald Trump, some of these MAGA cultists who, if they do wake up from the cult and realize that they have been fucking conned for the better part of a decade, the hatred that those people are going to end up having for Donald Trump, man, It's going to be epic. But again, I don't want to read too much into it. Baby steps. We're at the beginning. I think this is a process that will continue, but it's looking good right now. Anyway, I'm going to be talking more about this later today on the Romano Report. I hope you'll check that out, and thanks for watching.